everybody. It's Sunday, April 26th, and we're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin. The weekly, daily, and well, those two. Those are the two main ones, and the 12-hour just finished closing, and we opened a new week with obviously a new daily and a new 12-hour candle. So here is the weekly, and well, actually, let's do this. Let's start with the 12-hour. So the 12-hour looks really good. 12-hour looks bullish. We were able to hold the 200 EMA. Here we go. We're able to hold a 200 EMA for the third candle in a row above the 200, third candle above 200. We're about to do a bull cross here between the 9 and the 200. On the Bollinger Bands, we're at the top of the Bollinger Bands. Now, we have not broken above it, and the top Bollinger Bands on the 12-hour has been an area of resistance. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, going back to our regular tools on the daily, we are on our way to the 200 EMA on the daily. So we're not quite there yet. And on the Bollinger Bands, we are basically right on that top Bollinger Band as well. Now, going back to our regular tools, if you look at the weekly, and this is what we've been looking at. This is what we've been keeping a good eye because of the bear flag, and what we've been waiting for the past about 2.5 weeks is this right here. We finally got to the cross indicator. So here is the point that I've been eagerly waiting for to see if this bear flag is going to play out, just like every other bear flag that comes our way, or are we going to W? So we've got two very distinctive patterns, but very opposite patterns. We literally have a case for the bulls and a case for the bears on this time frame. However, even though there is a W, which is a bullish MACD, this W on the weekly, there isn't a bullish market structure. So when you look at the weekly, there's more of a bearish market structure, more of a bearish signal, because you have a couple of things here. You have three things. You have the bear flag, the physical market structure. You have the bearish divergence on the volume. And you have a pretty much perfect MACD setup for a breakdown of that bear flag. And the only thing on the bullish side is that you have a W on the MACD. So obviously it's going to take this week, no more than this week, to give us a signal of where we're going to go. Is this bear flag going to finally break down, or are we going to flip the 30, 50, and 100 EMA and begin our run back up to where we were prior to this Black Swan event, which will take us right back into the high $9,000, low $10,000 range. We're about 20 days away from the halvening, and just to give you a quick reminder, I was looking at the halvening back at the old halvenings, so just to refresh your memory, the last halvening, the previous halvening, is the red arrow right here. We dropped 1, 2, 3. On the 4 weeks after the halvening, we dropped 30%. And from that 30% drop, if you count the halvening until we actually started to move, it was 112 days. So I just want to put you guys at the correct mindset, so you don't think that the halvening, you're automatically going to start pushing up to all-time high. Previous halvening, we dropped 30% 4 weeks after the halvening, and it took, from the day of the halvening, 112 days. Prior to that, in 2013, there we go. In 2013's halvening, the price of Bitcoin dropped 80% the week before the halvening. It dropped 80%. And from the week of the halving, it did see a little bit of a pump. So this is the close, and it pumped 43% the following week, but slowly gave it back that same week. It gave it back. The following week, it dropped. And then from the week of the halving, it took 175 days before the market started to move up. 6 months, and after that, it took 4 months for the market to move after the halving. So for those who are really, really focused on the halving as a signal to go up, you better make sure you adjust your expectations, because 6 months on the first one, 4 months on the second one. So just to put things a little bit into perspective, and hopefully you guys stay a little bit grounded. And right now we're working with a bearish pattern on the weekly. We are going to have the earnings, the earnings report coming up for the stock market, I believe, next week. And I think that those earning reports are not going to be as good as some people may think, being that we've been shut down for a month. The world's been shut down for a month. Unemployment rate is going to come out. And when the stock market dumps based on those numbers, remember, Bitcoin is not a safe haven. Do not listen to the maximalists. We've already proven that that Bitcoin is not a safe haven. It is tightly correlated with the stock market and with the S&P. So when the S&P dumps after the earnings report comes out, do you think Bitcoin is going to be the salvation? I highly doubt it. So I hope you guys aren't thinking that Bitcoin is going to save us. If it does, great. But the probability, the chances is that it's not. And this market structure is setting it up for us to more than likely follow that path of that earnings report and come down. This week is basically it. Right here is going to tell us. If we cross, we're going up. If we deflect and we give that signal that we needed to, that we've been waiting for the bear flag, then we'll be back in business as far as coming down. Now, when this breaks down, again, this is the weekly. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks for this to form. This isn't going to go down in 1 week. This is more than likely going to break in the same type of structure that this did. So it's going to be a very slow 7 to maybe 10 weeks for it to break down, and or longer for this to play out. So I just want to make sure you guys are also aware of that. When you start seeing this red, don't think, oh, here we go. It's going to be a series of many candles, probably 7 to 10 candles or 7 to 9 candles as this comes back down and plays out. So, and where it's going to end, obviously no one knows, but we have a good chance of seeing those gaps that we've been waiting for to fill. So I just want to give you guys an update. Tomorrow we'll be back at our Zoom session at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, guys, have a good one.